It is that time of the year, guys! As always, we have S tier leaders that are meta definer leaders. Then we have A tier that are strong decks that I'm expecting to get to top cut to a certain extent. And then we have B and C tier. B are like once in an event, my top. And like C tier are most likely never topping, but maybe there's a little bit of hope for those to top as well. So I'm expecting the top cut to be populated by S tier decks and A tier. Anything below that, like B and C, maybe one or two at most. So we left the last meta game with two leaders at the top of the meta, and those were Eloku and Boo. Spoiler alert. Meta is still the same, guys. Nothing changed. Unfortunately, this is still the tier list. So you can close the video. Bye. See you next time. But on a more serious note, we might go over some of the new stuff as well. Okay, red decks are in a pretty tough spot. Unfortunately, they didn't get any new support. So yeah, I mean, the only red decks that was competing last set was Jiren, and I still think that is A tier. But anything else, I guess it's quite unplayable. Maybe new Daima with the Shin support might compete. So I can put it in B tier as of now. It can snatch like top finish in especially early metagame, when like aggro decks are better if the decks are not that fleshed out yet, you know. So I'll put it at B tier. I think everything else basically sucks. Like Beerus, outdated. Topku, can't compete anymore. Like no Kefla unban, no Ribrian unban. BG, it's in the trash. 6 feet under still. Saraku, whatever. U7 got a new Frieza support and it sucks. UI didn't get any new support and it still sucks. So yes, bye bye. And like starter Daimaku, it's whatever. I don't think it's better than Jiren, so I wouldn't play it over that. So I'm not gonna rank any of the red decks. So as I said, like I think Jiren might be the only deck that can compete because it has a playable matchup into both Eloku and Boo, and that's it. That's the Jiren's only strength. I think it has a good matchup into not good like playable. I'd say maybe 50-50 into both. It depends on the build, of course, but it has a lot of bad matchups into like any other decks, so I don't think it's S tier, but it might be fine in A tier, because like packing a 25k base power is pretty nice, adding into those, and the 4-cost Jiren is still a strong card into Boo builds that don't run the 4-cost SCR Frieza. That's why I think Jiren is still the best red leader. Yeah, and it got some new support, like new C16 is pretty nice. The 3-drop that gives minus 20k, draw 1 card, swings for 20, and it's a 10k combo power. That's pretty nice. But aside from that, I don't see any new addition. So, yep. That's the red color for you guys. Blue color, of course, we have Eloku. That is still the king. Eloku is insanely strong. It didn't get any new card, but it doesn't even matter. Like, it's still the best blue deck, hands down. Like, this deck is so overpowered that everyone is calling for a ban list. So, yeah, I mean, you know that's the top tier deck. I'm not gonna underestimate it again. At the start of BO5, I underestimated both Eloku and Boost and put them at A tier. Not gonna do it again. Straight up to S tier, and that's it. They're still the king of the metagame. They're the meta definers, and you need to beat or at least play against those two decks at a fair level to even be meta relevant. Eloku, top tier. And you even saw that at the World Championship. Like first place, second place, third place, all Elokus. Digital Championship, first place, second place, Elokus. Like, what do I even have to add about this leader? Broken lead. Every blue leader got a little bit better thanks to the 1-cost dinosaur. That's basically an Earthling Zamasu that can bottom deck enemies 1-drops. They're at least here. The playable ones, I'm not considering starter Vegeta, of course, because like it's a worse version of Vegito. I'm not considering Trunks. I'm not considering, of course, Gohan, that sucks. Not even Goku Black. So the only relevant ones to the last metagame were Zamasu and Vegito. And they got a little bit better, but I'm not sure they are A tier decks, because we have a better one, I can also rate it right now, actually. I think the best one is Vegeta Mini. So, like, this is technically a new... This is not a new deck, technically. But in reality, it is. Because it's only relevant right now. This is, like, from 0 to hero. Vegeta Mini is so strong. I think it's the top of A tier. Just based on the 4 and 5 drop. Because every blue deck plays the same. They don't want to awaken early. They want to loop the early game stuff like Kenshifts, Pilafs, new 1-cost Zamasu, maybe Galligans to block, maybe Vidals to grab your stuff back, and then bottom deck your opponent's stuff with maybe a Cycle or an Absolute Lightning in that case. The thing that puts Vegeta Mini above every other blue leader is the insane promo cards that they printed out this set. Like, the 4-drop is the best 4-drop in the blue color and maybe even in the game. Because, like, swings for 30, it's a 5k combo power, and every time it swings, it bottom deck a 1-cost or less, and on play, it gives -3 cost AoE to the all opponent board. So that's insane. It's a 4-drop that swings for 30 and bottom decks a 4-drop. Like, the closest thing we had till now was the Floodgate Vegito, that it's a 0 combo power, and bounce a 4-drop to hand. The new one, 5k combo power, and it bottom decks, not even bounce. And it also helps bottom decking other stuff. Like, for example, if you have like 5 energy, you can play that, leader effect, or new Zamasu, and bottom deck up to 2 4-drops with only 5 energy. So yeah, that's insane. That's why I think it's the best leader. And also the new 5-drop is absolutely insane. Like, enter the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Like, not 1, not 2, but 3 cards. That's a lot. And also gives -5 to an opponent's card. In that way, with only 6 energy, you can bottom deck a 6-drop or less. So take, for example, like a red deck plays UI Goku, the SCR. You play that card, draw 3, and bottom deck the SCR like it's nothing, and swings for 35 at the same time. So, like, what the hell? It's so good. It's so good. It is even easier to play than other blue decks, I think, because you just need to survive the first 3 turns, and then you play your 4-drop into 5-drop, and most of the time that's the correct play. So it's so easy to play and so strong that it deserves the top A tier spots. I don't think it's better than Eloku, but compared to every other blue decks, sure, it's up there. Yeah, every other blue decks is just a worse version of this. I'm gonna put Zamasu and Vegito in B tier because they still have a little bit of a different flavor to the blue decks. I think that Vegeta is better, but Zamasu is still more tanky, being a 25k body that can heal itself. And Vegito is a 40k swinger that can play a lot of good cards and can go the aggro route as well. So they might see play, like Vegito maybe as an aggro deck, and Zamasu... Like, I think Zamasu is worse than Vegeta, but it might still be strong depending on the metagame. It might survive certain metagames better, like especially aggro metagame. Because like Vegeta Mini, the only thing that it suffers is aggro, I think. Or green decks, but I mean, that's basically true for every blue deck. So. Then we have green decks. Guess what? Android is the best deck. Who would have guessed, guys? Who would have guessed? I mean, it's not a surprise anymore. Like, it's the best green deck because the 4-drop is just insane. It's not S tier, of course. I think it's A tier because, like, recent builds have a good matchup into Eloku and can deal with Boo to a certain extent. So I think Android is not in a bad spot. They win the Vegeta Mini Daima matchup. They win the Eloku matchup. They can win the Boo matchup, but they have a pretty bad matchup that we're gonna talk about later on when we're talking about new leaders. So yeah, but I think they're still A tier. I think this is one of the best green decks you can possibly run if you wanna play green at an event. Yeah, I'm rating new leaders after. And they got new tools, like new 9-drop Broly can be played in the Android decks, and that's pretty nice because you don't even have to de-ramp yourself like you used to do with Cell in order to gain life and clear the board. So you just need 1 extra energy to AoE clear the board except for 1-drops and get back 1 life and swing for 55k double strike. So I think that's a really good addition to the Android deck. It got some new stuff in the new set, of course. And then we have like maybe other playable decks are Nameku. I mean, this was already playable last set because it has a okay matchup. Like it can win into Eloku, it can win into Boo, it can win into Jin, it can win into a lot of different decks, but does it have an advantage? Like, I wouldn't say so. You might build it to be better into a certain type of leader, but like if you build it to beat Boo, then you lose points to the Eloku matchup and like the other way around. So yeah, it's really hard to tech your Nameku into both leaders because they're so different in playstyle. But I still think it's like either top of B tier or bottom A tier. I'm gonna put it at top of B tier as of now, but it might rise to A tier. Gohan got a new card, but I don't think it's anything near playable. Like, new 5-drop Gohan is nice. Yes, you can cheat out your 7-drop on your 5 energy turn, but that's it. You're losing 2 cards to play a 7-drop that can't even swing just to clear the board, and you're not even ramping on that turn. So you're slowing up your ramp curve. Like, it might be okay. I tried it. I'm not a big fan, but it might get some results somehow. It's not that bad. I still think that Android is better. I mean, other green decks, they're not really playable. I mean, green Vegeta is meme. Piccolo, Cell, Broly, like, come on. They're not near playable. Yellow leaders. I think yellow is in a pretty damn good spot. The new 1-cost spell is pretty nice. And I think it pushed the yellow Vegeta up to A tier. I think this is a really strong deck now. New spell is really strong. That's what it needed since FB02. Like, back when it released in FB02, I was expecting it to receive a 1-cost spell that could block an attack and replace itself at the same time. And this is basically a perfect spell. If you don't know what I'm talking about the starter deck, Results of Training, that gives plus 15k and draws 1 card as long as there's 3 or more battle cards rested on board. And keep in mind that it doesn't even need to be on your side of the board. So if the opponent is swinging with a 3 or more, you can even draw from that. So basically, it's always online. You're always gonna draw 1 card. And that's really good because you can also use it on your offense. So if you're closing out the game, it's a plus 15k and draw 1 at the same time. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I think it pushed Vegeta to A tier. I don't know if it's better than the other Vegeta, but they're pretty close. And also Nemba for the same reason. Like, the only thing that Nemba struggled last set was the yellow mirror match. And I think the new spell helped a lot in that case. Like, I think Nemba is better into Boo matchup compared to FB05, thanks to the new plus 15 spell. Because you can handle Boo all-ins better, and you can even be more aggressive thanks to new cards like 5-cost Vegeta Mini. So I think you have like a lot of new tools you can try and use to handle the yellow mirror match better. I still think it's A tier. Is it better than Vegeta? I don't know. I think they're like really close. I need further testing to make sure which one is the better one. But as of now, I'd put maybe Vegeta Amarillo 1 spot ahead of Nemba. Yep, like something like this. But they're really strong. Like, Nemba is the generic yellow leader, and it got some generic good cards from the new set. So it's always improving. Like, every new set adds new tools to Nemba. So I think that it's really versatile. You can tag a lot of different cards tailored to the metagame. Maybe early metagame is worse because you don't know what to tag into. But I'm pretty sure you have to tag into Eloku and Boo as of now. So you can still craft a really good Nemba deck. I tested a bit, I think it's strong. I don't think it's better than Boo, but it's still up there if you don't want to play Boo. It has a better matchup into other decks. Like, maybe it has a better matchup into Jiren. I think it has a better matchup into Eloku as well, but I'm not 100% sure about it. Still A tier strong. Yep. This Boo also got better thanks to the Arinsu, Daburam. So yeah, I think B tier fits. Maybe even here. I don't know. I still have to test it, but I have high expectations to Babidi Boo deck. So I'm gonna try it next. Still think it's worth researching. Aside from that, nothing else is playable, like Frieza, nope. Kula, didn't get anything new. Jinyu, it's meme. So yeah, unfortunately. But I think yellow is in a pretty good spot. Like having one deck S tier and two decks A tier as of now is one of the best color in the game alongside blue. Black next. Did Black get anything new? Yeah, he got a couple of new cards that are really strong, I think. 6-cost Gogeta and the Chi-Chi. Two pretty good cards that made Gogeta better than last set, and I think they're good into Baby as well. So, about these two decks, I don't know which one is better, because I haven't researched much. I really think Black is not in a good spot, guys. Because it completely falls to blue decks. It has like 0% chance to win versus Eloku and even Daima Vegeta. So, and I think blue is the best color of the new set and will be represented a lot. So I think it's suicidal bringing black to a big tournament. But if you feel lucky and you dodge all the blue matchups, you can do fine. Because you have a nice matchup into like other colors and you have an okay matchup into yellow. I don't even know if you can win versus Boo even with the new Gogeta, but it's better than before. I don't even know which one is better, like maybe Baby, but I'ma keep Gogeta up here. Maybe top of B tier, Might be a nice surprise. I can see it topping maybe one event if it gets a lucky run. And maybe Baby can snatch a top cut finish. But I don't see black in a very good spot. I still wanna keep at least one black deck in A tier. I don't wanna give up completely on the color. So either Baby or Gogeta needs to be A tier, I think. But at the end of the A tier. I don't think it's anything close to the top of A tier. And about like Goku GT, Bardock, yeah, they're not that good. So, and they didn't get anything relevant. So yeah, I'm not gonna rate them. Okay, then we have the new leaders, guys. Now we have new leaders. So finally, we can rate the new top-notch leaders that we got in FB06. Like, look at the awesome leaders that we got. We got Android 18, Son Goku Childhood, Broly BR, King Goma DA, Vegeta Mini DA, and the one and only King Piccolo. So, what do you think? Where will they place in the tier list? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Pause the video and let me know before I rate them all. Let's start with Android 18. Boom. C tier. It sucks, guys. It sucks. I don't even know what to say. The fact that we don't have access to the promo Android 17, it's like a death sentence. It's such a core card to the deck. It is not playable without it. And we get it like starting from June, I think, for the Ultimate Battle. And even then, even getting the promo 17, I don't think it's a good leader. Even in that case. But before that, like at the release, keep in mind that this is a release tier list. So Android 17 is not legal. This deck sucks. It's such a generic red deck, but it's generically bad. I talked about it before. I think like they basically took every red staple, made it worse, and then added the Android tag on top of that. So take a look at, like, we have like Gohan reprint, both the minus 10k AoE Gohan and the Tournament of Power Gohan. They both got reprinted. And we got like a Fuwa reprint that gives minus 10 instead of minus 15. We got a Kefla reprint in the promo 17 that is of course worse than Kefla. We didn't get a Searcher, so we didn't even get the Basil of the deck. And we got a Field that is unplayable because it costs 3 and there's no way to cheat that out. Also, the whole concept of Android 18 is swinging to the opponent board. But why make it a red deck? I don't understand. In a color that have already so much removal at its disposal, I don't know why there's a concept that rely on swinging to the opponent's board. Like, it made no sense. Why would I swing at something instead of minusing X and KOing, and like not even KOing, putting that to trash that way? I don't know. And you don't get any benefit from swinging at the board. There's no benefit at all. Set 1, SCR Goku inflicted 1 damage if it shaded a piece on board, but we got nothing like that on this set. So the whole concept is shading your opponent board in a color that already gets rid of all the opponent board anyways, without even need to swing into that. So it's somewhat redundant. I don't like the concept at all. I think the deck sucks. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, like, Android fans, but as much as Android 1718 green is a good deck, this is like the complete opposite. It's such a bad deck, so yep, that's quite unfortunate. Pre-release, I realized the Gero only gives -10 for the battle, not even for the turn. Cards are so garbage. For the battle? Oh my god. I didn't even know that. So it's even worse than I expected. But anyway, moving on. Kid Ku. I mean, it's either here or here, but it is bad. It is a bad leader. For the same reason as Yellow Vegeta on release, this lead is so reliant on extra cards. And it didn't get enough good extra cards to be top tier. So it might shine maybe in the near future, but as of now, it's not a good deck at all. Like, you need to play this clunky deck where half of your cards are comboless cards, and it's not even worth it. Like, maybe you have 1 or 2 extra moves that are even worth playing, and those are the cross-arm dive and the spell that bounces. The one with tensing on it. I don't even remember the name. Everything else is just not that efficient. So you have a clunky lead that plays a lot of zeros, and it's not even worth playing. Maybe you have a big hand size, you need to deplete your whole hand in order to play stuff for free, but that's not even free because you're using your cards in hand as resources. And then you have a 20k base body. You have a deck that is based around you flipping your lead, but you don't want to flip playing a blue leader. Like, you want to stay on the pre-awakened side most of the times. So it feels really awkward as well. Like, sometimes you want to just awaken. World Tournament need to be 1 cost and or potentially untapped at the end of turn. Yeah, I mean, they need some better... It needed some better stuff, I think. Yeah, you don't even put enough pressure to flip early enough. So, yeah, I think it's bad. I think it's better than Android, but I still think it's bad. Wizard cool, World Tournament cool. I mean, Colleague, whatever. I think it's for diehards only. And don't get me started on the old Satan City archetype with this lead, because in that case, just play Top Queen instead. Like, why even bothering playing this with Satan City? I'm commenting on the World Tournament archetype cards in the Son Goku Childhood deck. So that's the C rating. Then we have Broly BR. Okay, as we expected, I think this is the only playable deck of the new bunch of leaders. Straight up to A tier. Is it better than Baby? Maybe, yes. Is it better than Android? Depends on the metagame. You might win into Eloku if it can get rid of your Age of Broly fast enough. You can snowball the game out of hand. Against Boo is really tough. Like, you have a really bad matchup into Boo, but so does Android. But in the mirror match, Broly is better. That's what I was referring to when I was ranking Android 1718. That it does fairly well into Eloku, it does fairly well into Vegeta Mini. It can win into Boo, but it completely falls the Broly matchup. And I think Broly is gonna be played. Like, even if it's not the best deck, I still think it's gonna be played a lot. I think it's still gonna have like maybe 15% player base at big events, 10 to 15%, somewhere around that, even if it's not the best deck. because it's a popular character, it's so hype, a lot of factors. So it might be a better pick, I don't know. I think it's quite strong. It is better than Jiren. Yeah, maybe, yes. I don't think Jiren is necessarily that good. I think Jiren is like low A tier. Is it better than Vegeta Yellow or Vegeta Mini? Nope. I don't think so. Is it better than Nemba? Not so sure about it. I'ma leave it at like middle A tier. I'ma leave it there, I think. I think it's definitely playable. I think it's definitely strong. It can top events, especially if you get like good matchups. But I think the main problem with Broly BR is it's a strange deck. One of the only deck that it caps early into the game state, and then it doesn't progress any further. So once you reach for energy, you're at your max power, you know? And you don't scale into the late game. So if the opponent can deal with your board, you're stuck in a loop where you basically can do anything and you have no way out of it. I'll give you an example. Like, imagine you're facing a blue deck like Vegeta Mini. You play your 8-cost Broly and they absolute light in it and they remove it. What are you gonna do? Play another 8-cost Broly. They're gonna remove it as well, because every turn that it passes, they're gonna have more and more energy to deal with your stuff, while you're stuck with your 4 energy, and you cannot like even play better stuff progressing into the game. Your plays are so easily readable and predictable, and they can like prepare and play around those to beat you, and then you can progress and you can scale, and you're stuck and you're gonna lose the game. So I think it might really thrive in a metagame that's not really prepared for that. But since so many eyes are on Broly, I'd expect every deck to have at least a way to deal with your stuff early into the format. So I guess like early format, Broly is not gonna have much success. But as soon as people start to remove counterplay to Broly because it disappears from the metagame, it's gonna come back in full power. So as of now, I'll leave it at the middle of A tier. If the top decks don't tag into Broly, boom, straight up to S tier. But if they're prepared, middle of A tier. I think it can even beat Boo if Boo is not prepared. If Boo doesn't play like Magic Absorption, or it doesn't play around your like power plays, it can lose to Broly. But attacked Boo, no chance it's losing to a Broly. Easy to build and easy to play. So the entry barrier is quite low. That's also a reason I think it's gonna be played a lot in tournament. Because it's a strong deck and it's an easy deck to both build and play. Like your lines of play are not that many, and you don't have much agency on what to do during the match. You're like kind of forced to play your stuff on core, and that's it. So yeah, like middle of A tier, I think it's fair. I think it's fair to the new Broly. I like it as a deck, but it's not that flexible. If the opponents can abuse your little flexibility, you're gonna have a really hard time piloting this deck in a big tournament. Next we have King Goma. If we're talking about fun, I think hands down this is like the most fun deck in the game to pilot. Like if you're having a fun to pilot tier list, I think like Goma is the best deck in the game. It's S tier. But if we're talking about power, it's so inconsistent I cannot even put it to A tier. It's B tier, maybe even here. There's this little problem where you have half of your deck that is comboless. You need at least 20 cards that are comboless. And you need to see your stuff in the right order, because if you miss the right order, the deck completely falls apart. If you miss like your field, if you miss your self-awakeners early, if you miss Goma when you're at 4 energy, it falls apart, it collapses on itself. Even if you see everything and you see your Goma on 4 energy, if you miss the second Goma, the deck sucks. There's no power play except from playing 1 Goma each turn. If you draw perfectly, it can win even like top tier decks. But since it's so inconsistent, it's really hard to play at a big event where you're gonna play a lot of rounds in a row. Like imagine you're playing 9 rounds and you break 3 out of those 9 rounds. And maybe you find a counter deck in a couple of rounds and now you're like X5. So you're losing to your own deck. I don't think it's consistent enough. It's like, yeah, a casino type of deck. You can high roll, sure, but the low roll is really bad. It's really bad. So I wouldn't say it's a competitive deck. It might thrive in like local events, 3 or 4 turns, and you can high roll those, but in big events, no. Vegeta Mini Daima, Brew. This is like, Mom, I want Boo, but we already have Boo at home. And this is your budget Boo that you already have at home. Boo of Walmart. Boo that sucks, yes. It's like worse Boo. There's no reason to play this over Boo any day. Clownish version of Boo, yeah, like it has the aggro part as Boo, but it's not that aggro without the end control part and the board control part. So like you're half of a Boo deck, but even that half is worse than the Boo one. So you're an aggro yellow deck without the end control. So it kinda sucks. I don't think it's playable, but I don't think it's worse than Android. I mean, it might be here. It might be for diehards only. You maybe can top with that, but I see absolutely zero reason to play it over Boo. Like there's no reason, guys. Eating the same Boo pose? Yeah, he's trying. He's trying. The reason why Boo is so oppressive is that it pairs the insane aggression with the control playstyle. And it's really versatile. You can play the control game, you can play the aggro game, you can kill them from 5 to 0 like without breaking a sweat, and you can control their hand down to 5 every turn. And you can decide to play both games depending on the state of the game and depends on the opponent and the matchup. If you're playing Vegeta, you have only one way to play the matchup, and that's beating the enemy down. So you're playing an aggro deck that's not even that great doing your aggro stuff. Top of C tier. Maybe it's gonna get like really good support in the next manga set, and it's gonna jump from C tier to A tier like the other Vegeta Mini did this set. Like we can believe he's gonna have a lot of good supports. We have to believe that. But as of now, yeah, top of C tier and call it a day. And then we have King Piccolo. Oh my god. King Piccolo. So, do you remember when I said that Black is not in a good spot right now? Yeah, King Piccolo is even in a worse spot. It's definitely worse than Baby. It's definitely worse than Gogeta. And I don't think it even makes to B tier. Is it worse than Android? No, hell no. Maybe it's better. Is it better than Gohan? Hear me out. I don't think the crit is the problem. I think crit is completely fine. You're not even... It's not even a big deal. Because if you see your stuff, you're gonna be awakened by T3. The problem lies in having no chance into blue decks, as every other black deck, and playing with a limited end size, and playing your stuff at the end of the turn, whilst not having that big payoff by playing at the end of the turn. Like take for example Goma, it can cheat bodies for free, but they can generate value as soon as they hit the board. So if you cheat out an Arinsu, you can draw 1 card, tap an opponent's stuff, and swing for 25. If you cheat out a Kraken, it can swing for 25, untap 1 energy, so you're basically getting 1 extra free energy on the turn. If you're playing King Piccolo, the best thing you can do is dropping a body at the end of your turn that is gonna either draw 1 card or kill a 2 or less. But that's so bad. You need better stuff, Piccolo. Bandai did Piccolo dirty this set, I think. Doesn't even have a playable SR card from the egg. Because demons are bad cards, yes. And not only demons, you're playing those from your hand. Like, not even from your grave. You need to cheat out demons? from your hand. And that's such a big deal, because you're not Gogeta, you're not having infinite amounts, you're not generating coins out of thin air, so you also need to invest your coins towards developing demons. While black decks have so much better to do with the coins, they can play 10x to kill 3 or less, they can play like 5-drop Goku that draws 2 cards, they can save the coin and use it on the next turn and save it for sparking, for example. They have so many ways to use the coin that is not cheating a 3-drop from your hand by paying it 1 and not even cheating out on your turn, but on the end of your turn. So yeah, it's really bad. I don't think it's playable. So since you're like, you have a crit on the front side, and you're depleting your hand to play stuff from your leader effect, you'll end up playing with 6 or 7 cards in hand, while every other deck has 12 plus hand size, and you're not even blue, so you can play Pilaf over and over again to get resources, and this deck has a really hard time generating resources, and every deck that can deal with your board is gonna have a really easy time into Piccolo. That's why I said like blue decks completely run over you, because they can clear your board and then you have no gas anymore. Your coin generator doesn't even replace itself. You're kind of forced to run SCR Goku to generate the coin and draw at the end of your turn. So I think like SCR Goku is better than the dedicated card for this deck. Piccolo Jr. 5-drop draw 2? Yes? If you draw 2 cards and don't adjust the board state, that's not even a good option, you know? I invested all my turn to draw 2 cards, when blue decks can play a 35k that draws 3 cards on play. So, to wrap it up, guys, I don't think new expansion dethroned the best deck we had for what is the 3rd set in a row. So FB04, FB05, FB06, yeah. I think next set will be dominated by Eloku and Boo again. And we need a ban list to shake up the metagame a little bit. I think the real winner of the new expansion is Vegeta Mini. This is like the biggest glow up ever we had in the card game. From F tier to A, straight up to A tier, printing a couple of broken support cards. That's pretty neat. Also, yellow decks got a little bit better, and everything else stay around the same, I'd say. No new big surprises. I think Broly is fine as we expected. Not broken tier, but fine. Nemba is still fine. Angel is still fine. Jiren is okay if you want to play red. Baby is okay if you want to play black. We're gonna have our ban list before next set is released. We see you on Boo at Paris? I hope not, man. I mean, I think I'm gonna play a A tier deck just because I'm tired of playing S tier decks, so I wanna play something fresh. But if I wanted to win the tournament, sure, I'd play Boo or Eloku. But I wanna try and have fun with some A-tier decks. So. That was it, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/IceCreamKR. And I'm gonna see you next time. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree with my tier list. And this is the preemptive tier list before the full set release on May 2nd. So, yep. See you next time.